All right, guys, what's going on? Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to our morning note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of G.A.R Capital. Hope all is well. Thank you for joining me this morning and every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Before we begin, make sure to click the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, the little logo. Click that, turn on notifications, like our videos, subscribe to our channel. Really do appreciate it as always. Well, happy Friday, everybody. Rock and roll. You survived the week. We got one more trading session for the week. Let's rock it. All right, so let's talk about the market, shall we? Dow futures up 128 points. NASDAQ futures up 1%, 13,232. S&P futures up about 24 points, 41.31. Russell 2000 futures 2184, 0.73%. Let's take a look at crypto this morning. I had it here. It's got to load with investing.com. Cryptocurrencies. All right, so load. Okay. Bitcoin is at 50,319, Ethereum at 3,992, Dogecoin at 53 cents, Cardano hit $2 yesterday, it's at $1.87, Ripple at 139, and Litecoin at 327.99. Cool. All right, so that's where we are currently. Let's take a look at crude futures, up 1% at 64.43 a barrel. Gold futures up 0.66%, 18.35 an ounce. 27.38 for silver futures at 1.17% up. Dollar index is down 0.36% at 90.42. The VIX key 20 is the level that we're looking for. 21.32 down 7.83% as the VIX is smashed. Dollar yen is down 9 pips, 109.37, and the euro dollar 121.26 up 48 pips currently. All right, so a couple things that we need to talk about. Let's go over real quick, kind of switch it up a little bit. Let's talk about some upgrades and downgrades this morning from some of the investment banks. Airbnb was a price target raised by Wells Fargo to overweight from equal weight. $200 is their price target. DoorDash was upgraded by Truist Securities. They reported their earnings. Their price target is at $185. CFRA raises to hold from sell on DoorDash with no price target. Snowflake was raised to buy from neutral at $275 by Goldman. Let's see. Coinbase did report yesterday. Piper Sandler initiates an overweight at $335 a share. We got a couple of Airbnb price target changes to the downside. Piper, Bayer, Susquehanna, Needham, Wedbush, Mizuho, and Jefferies all cut their price targets. So did Barclays. The only one to raise their price target was Credit Suisse on Airbnb. Alibaba price target was cut by Raymond James and Citigroup. DoorDash was cut in price target by Susquehanna, Bank of America, and Mizuho. Disney also reported earnings. Their subscribers into Disney Plus streaming was less than expected. Their price target was cut by Wells Fargo and Guggenheim. And Home Depot was raised price target by Jefferies from 325 to 374. Lowe's was raised price target 200 to 247. We've been talking about that for a while. Both great companies own them. Target was also price raised by Telsley Advisory Group 215 to 235. Roku was cut by $10 price target by Citigroup, and Mizuho cuts price target on Zoom ZM from 550 to 400. A big price cut there. There you go. That's what we got. Okay, so a couple things that I did yesterday. I didn't do an aftermarket recap since I did a video the other day, so there's a lot of videos that want to saturate you. At the end of the day yesterday, I did buy some stocks. I did buy some Tesla on the dip. Actually, I'll tell you exactly what I bought. I bought some Square yesterday, and I bought some Tesla yesterday. Not tons, but a little bit. And then I finally bit the bullet, and I bought ARKK. I bought some ARK, which is the innovation fund. ARKK, not tons. I bought a couple of shares at $100 or below $100 at $99 a share. I put this under my SPY-G portfolio that I do every week. I bought some more SPY-G yesterday, so I went shopping yesterday for the most part, and looking like it's a pretty good idea since everything is pretty much up. So a couple things that I do have open. I do have JP Morgan calls that are in the money. Awesome. We're going to get that this morning. We were right around 37%. Disney did not work out. We were looking for a push to the upside. We actually filled those on Monday, and then we had the big flush during the week. We're waiting for possibly earnings to salvage us. Disney did not work out for us. So The one loss for the week is Disney. JPM should get us home there for next week calls. We have the 162.50s for next week. We'll probably catch those at the open. So just a little update on where we are. But mostly I did was some stock shopping with the investment club. Square, Tesla, I bought some ARKK, I bought some SpyG. Also bought some crypto this week. I do every week anyway. So technically I did buy the dip. So you know me, I'm always stock shopping for good sales. I always have my alerts. It's pretty simple when it comes to investing, guys. You know, you have your buckets. I'm going to create a nice little diagram to show you exactly how I do things. And I kind of explained it already on Instagram, the buckets that you have. Your biggest bucket should be your index fund. Your next biggest bucket should be the core holdings, what you like, what you use every day, what you own. Let's say if you consume a lot of Starbucks, that should be part of your core holdings. Same thing if you are a big Apple head or a big Microsoft PC gamer, maybe you want to own some Nvidia, that would be part of your core holdings. Next, you have your dividends. Again, I have a dividend portfolio, so again, that's part of my dividend bucket. I buy every month. And then you also have your speculation holdings. So for example, like Blink, I own DraftKings, Penn, THCX, those names. Those are part of my speculation bucket. They're not a big part of my portfolio, but they're a nice, reasonable part. So again, if they fall, like growth names, they fall, I'm okay with that because that's part of my speculation. I know what I'm getting from my speculation bucket. And then my last bucket, the fifth one, is really just cash. Just hold some cash ready to buy the dip like I did yesterday. I will create a nice little diagram showing exactly what I'm talking about to help you guys out because I think a lot of people get it confused. They think they just go blindly and just buy stuff. Again, have a plan, guys. When you have a plan, you're not really panicking. And usually when you don't have a plan, you panic. So just a heads up. So a couple of price action here. Disney did miss on their earnings. Well, their EPS was fine, but their actual subscription was down. So what I'm looking for, if I'm looking to buy the dip, let's go ahead and expand this here. Here we go. Oh, I gotta sneeze too. There is a gap to fill downwards on the daily to 157.46. Would it fill all the way down there? Excuse me. Probably not. Not right away anyway. So we're trading at 171.65. I would go ahead and play the gap fill as my buy level. I'm still up on the stock anyway. So again, I bought this last year. So you can see 157.47. I'm going to place that alert there. That'll be the nice gap fill on the daily. That'll give me an opportunity to buy, you know, cheaper, probably about an extra 10 bucks in savings. So I'm okay with that. But other than that, on Disney, if you're looking to trade it today, I'm expecting a slight little bounce after this, maybe get to around 172. Probably wouldn't touch it. But a couple of things I do want to watch. QQQ could be interesting here. We're above the 100 on the actual on the hourly chart, which looks relatively decent. If you're looking to go long, I would actually target right here this resistance, 325.79. So possibly 325 calls, 326 calls. If you go for next week, could be interesting. Just watch the premiums. I was looking at that yesterday, and they were pretty expensive, even on the put side. So there was a lot of volume on those Qs. So I'm looking at the daily. We are literally to the T, guys, bouncing off this channel. So again, we talked about this channel a lot on the daily and aftermarket recaps. So you could see if I draw the line perfectly, you could see it's not perfectly, but pretty much a nice little bounce right off that channel. So again, it's probably a good idea to probably go long here. Again, I think we had a little bit of a washout the last couple of days. I think I'm starting to see some buy the dip players here. I'm probably going to start looking at Qs for next week, possibly 325. The 326s is your yellow line. That'll be the 50-day. That'd be a nice little target for resistance. I'm looking to probably buy that this morning. I also had some Apple puts. So again, looking at Apple puts here, they're for next week anyways. But what I'm looking at Apple is that it's actually weaker relative to most of the tech names and Qs. So again, we're right at the 100-day. If the 100-day does break, I'm gonna have to probably cut bait here. So again, it's okay. I know I was expecting a little more downward. I had a broke of an alert. And again, we had the reversal. Totally happens. No big deal. But that right there, that 100-day, the question is, does it break above? If it breaks above, then possibly your next trade will probably be around 120.54, which will probably be your next resistance. Really, the heavy resistance could be overhead supply. I have to take a look at the volume, is 129.29. So if you're looking at Apple to trade to the long side, you'd probably want to go ahead and take a look around 128.50. Some other names, again, I get a lot of questions about Tesla, but they're so damn expensive. So I would skip it. Microsoft right below the 100. So again, we want to break the 100 first, if anything. So that's where we are. But JPM is looking very solid. We're in the money. We have the 162.50 calls for next week. I had that green arrow ready for me, and that's what I wanted. So we'll be taking that this morning, first thing, and that'll be right off the boat. So looking at E-mini futures, we looked at Qs. E-mini futures were right at the 100. Again, that 50-day moving average really told me a lot. I'm really kicking myself for not going long in the 50 because SPX, which is the S&P 500 actual spot, did not tap the 50. It was right below it. I figured that we would retest and then I would go long. But looking at this channel, what do you see? That 50-day, we talked about it. That 50-day has been that support. So we know that support has been bounced. Did we miss the move? I think on Qs we didn't miss the move, but ES and S&P possibly. So NQ, NASDAQ, and Qs, I do like a long, but S&P futures, I wouldn't go long here. If you're playing at home, possibly the 415 on SPY for next week would be decent. Probably for a Wednesday expiry. I'm not in love with it. I'd probably give it around a 1 to 10 rating, probably like a 4. I'm not super excited about it, but the Q one, I think I'm a lot more confident in that. So again, just because you're bullish in one way, I think you see the NASDAQ is pushing. I think the NASDAQ is probably your best bet to go long other than the S&P 500. I hope that makes sense. All right, let's answer some questions. Good morning. Yeah, we just talked about ES and NQ. You guys, you're on the ball. Thoughts on Mara? Let's take a look at Mara. Mara and Ride, the same thing, guys. I've been saying it over and over. Skip it. If you want to own crypto, just own crypto. But when it comes to these brokers or these guys who invest in it, like a Microvision, a Mara, a Ride, I think Coin is the best bet. Coinbase, they had an exceptional quarter. I own Coinbase. Forget buying it because of me. Buy it because you want to if you want. But I don't like Mara or Ride. Even to trade, it's extremely volatile. So I'd be extremely careful. No warning, no saturating. We do appreciate. Thank you, Carmen. Appreciate it. TSM, NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel thoughts, specifically how the next 2 years will pan out. If you have a 2-year range, you pound the semiconductors. They're going to be fine long term. Absolutely. So again, I don't like Intel. I love NVIDIA. I love AMD. Those are the two that I would say are the best. The third one I would go with is Qualcomm because of the great dividend. And Texas Instruments is fine. If you like a Taiwan semiconductor, completely fine too. But I would say your big pillars are NVIDIA and AMD. I own both. I love them both. What level to buy Square and shares in Coinbase? I bought Square yesterday. So it did hit my alert, was anything below 195. So I got in there. I mean, I think it was below 200 I bought. And we're at 202. So again, ooh, big deal. You know, it's up $3. Who gives a shit, right? But I own shares anyway, so I bought the dip there. Right now the low is 192.29. If you like Square and you want to buy some here, that's completely fine. If you're looking at the daily on Square, again, you broke the 200-day. We are now above the 200-day after hours. That was my support I was looking for. I think we're going to go get back up to 220, pretty sure. 235 would tell me that we're out of the woods, and then we're back into this megaphone channel. So that's something to look at. 235 should be your target to go long again in regards to calls. But when it comes to trading, 202 right now where we're at right in the 200-day. If that thing can hold and get us back to 220, actually get us back to 235, I'd be a lot more confident short term. But again, Square is a long-term play. I love Square. Coinbase, you can't really chart because it's just been open just a little bit, not too long. It's just had IPO. They just had their earnings. So I can't really tell you anything chart-wise because there's not much going on. If we go by the hourly, maybe it gives us a little bit more of a look. The moving averages, I mean, we're right below the 200-day, 281.60, 284.96 would be nice. 300 has been that level. That's been that line in the sand. If we can get around 310 and break it, I'd be a lot more confident looking at it going forward to tapping to 345. They were just price target raised to, I believe, 370, 380. So again, I love the long-term prospects of Bitcoin. Sure, we had some volatility in regards to crypto lately. It's bouncing back. If you believe in crypto and you believe or you're a crypto fan, I think Coinbase should be part of your portfolio anyways. What's your biggest addition this week? My biggest addition this week was ARKK, which was the ARK fund. Again, not tons, only about 10. But that's my biggest, again, that's part of my speculation bucket. So again, everyone's different, whether it's $100, $1,000, or $10,000. That's really up to you. But again, you have the different buckets. I bought it at 99 bucks. So you can see ARKK is bouncing back. I'm not going to bet against Cathie Wood. I'm going for the long term here. I like it below 100. And I think I'm going to be pretty satisfied knowing that I bought it under 100 bucks, which is kind of cool. What is great? Thanks, Carlos. Thanks. Thoughts on VRTX? Vertex Pharmaceuticals, I don't know much about them. Looking at this chart, it says completely choppy. If you're looking to trade this, there really isn't anything to do. You're just going to get killed. The only thing I do see is that there's a massive gap to fill at 269.57. You're not going to get that anytime soon, to be honest with you. If anything, there's a small gap right here at 236. If you start getting to 236, maybe we can have the conversation. Other than that, I hope they pay a dividend because it's pretty much just sideways after that, after this here in October. Expecting a slow Friday. Slow Friday in regards to price action, yes, but in regards to opportunities, no. I think that the stocks will end green today. Friday will give us a little bit. We're not going to make up for the losses for the week, obviously, in regards to the stock market in general. But again, these red days, guys, you need to really understand that these are opportunities for you to buy these names that you've been wanting to get at a discount. Everyone says they've been waiting there. I wish I would have bought lower until it comes, and then they freak out. But again, everyone's different. Totally understand. I expect us to end green. We had a weak retail sales number. It was 0% growth, retail sales month over month, even though we had high inflation. There you go. That's not exactly the best sign in the world, but I mean, the market doesn't care right now. I think everyone is bargain hunting right now. I think inflation fears may be a little bit overblown, and I think that's why traders and hedge funds are probably buying some stocks. A really keen thing I'm noticing is that when things go down, investment banks are really late to the party when it comes to price raises and price declines or price updates. So again, you could kind of follow the money at the end of the day, but keep in mind their price targets, guys, are for 1 year. So again, they say a price target that's within 12 months. So again, I kind of would cancel out that noise. That 50-day moving average told you everything you need to know. I think that we have clear skies a little bit here. I think that we get to 4,200 next week, in my opinion. But again, that's what I see. That 50-day moving average on S&P was absolutely key. I'm kicking myself for not going long because I wanted the retest. I wanted us to get back down and retest and bounce. But the one thing I keep saying, the VIX, if it breaks below 20 and holds below 20, I think we get to 4,200 next week, and then all is well again. The world is a fine place again, right? What's your take on ISNS? I have no idea what that is. ISNS. Let's see. ISNS. Image sensing systems. Couldn't tell you what it is. I don't no idea what they are. So again, just going by the chart, it looks like a straight pump and dump. If anything, you probably would buy puts to the 100-day moving average of $5 if you want to do that, which I wouldn't even touch it. Do you believe Palantir would be a $1 trillion company? $1 trillion company? No. That's probably the one company I have the highest conviction on long term. And I love buying the dips on that company. I really believe in Palantir long term. They actually profit and they actually make money. It's not like, some pipe dream. They do very, very good things, obviously. Maybe you're not into government spying. Regardless, we're here to make money, not politics. But I mean, they do a lot of things for different governments and different companies. I like Palantir long term. I really do. And I hope to add some more as we go. But $1 trillion now. Thoughts on 600 calls? Lenny, let me give you a piece of advice, man. Stay away from Tesla right now. Tesla, when it comes to options, is just way too expensive. It's just not worth it. And I get it that there's some high risk and there's high reward, but it just isn't worth it. I promise you. I have been burned way too many times on Tesla, and I love the stock. Is it panic time? Is it panic buying time again? No, I don't think it's panic buying. I think we got a lot of washouts. In crypto, I know for a fact we got a lot of washouts. How many people were trading crypto with high leverage? Remember, if you get a margin call or leverage, you get sold out. You're done. So again, I don't trade crypto on margin. Absolutely not. Just own it. Just own it. And again, if you need the money tomorrow, I get where you can panic. But if you're not needing the money for the next 12 months, what difference does it make? Up, down, left, right. Doesn't matter. I mean, you're not selling, right? Unless you're planning to. That's completely different. But that's where we are currently. Thoughts on Etsy for puts? And last question. Oh, let's see. Etsy right now on puts. Let me go ahead and expand the sell. Looking at the daily here. Yeah, I could see it. For puts, depending on your level, right now it's at 160.20, so it is up pre-market. You could probably take a look at 146. I don't love it. If I had to rank it or rate it, since I love people like rating, I would probably give that a 2 out of 10, if that. And I'm being generous. I don't like that trade there. How does Shop chart look? Shop is fine long term. I sold my Shop shares. I only had 2 of them, and I bought them like at 800 something, and I made some profit. But again, I have Amazon, and I didn't want to kind of overload. I wanted to keep my portfolio kind of concentrated now. I have my buckets, obviously, but again, I'm kind of lowering the amount of stocks I have. No big issue. I just moved one into another. That's all I did. Not really sold anything. But Shopify right now is at 1047.77. I think Shopify is fine long term. If you're planning to hold it for more than a year or two, you're going to be fine. 1300 will definitely come around within the next 12 months, in my opinion. Okay, so we'll go ahead and leave it there, guys. Have a great rest of your day. I'm going to go have a coffee. We'll join you guys later on today for the after market recap. Have a great rest of your day. Happy trading, and cheers, guys. Cheers.